Um, okay, now, how does this begin? How does this landing begin? There's the hadith right here, we're going to read and translate. ملحمة الإسكندرية على يد طبارس ابن إسطبيان إذا نزل مركب بالمنارة فوضع ثم رفع 3 مرات فإذا انتصف النهار جاءكم ب400 حتى ينزلوا عند المنارة. The Battle of Alexandria, the prophesied Battle of Alexandria, shall be at the hands of one known as Tabaris, I think that's Tiberius, or Tiberius, son of Astabian, most likely the original was Esteban. Now these are all these names that you find in prophecies, they're nicknames. Okay? They're like approximations. Sometimes they'll use the name of someone famous from the past who resembles the future person in some way. Or sometimes the name itself is descriptive. Like Sufyani. Sufyani, that's not his name. He's called Sufyani because he is like Abu Sufyan in his pre-Islamic times. He's like the Sufyani family in pre-Islamic times. And he's also like Sufyanis in post-prophetic times, like Yazid ibn Muawiyah, for example, in his dealings, in his very violent and bloody dealings with the progeny of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it's a nickname. It's supposed to give you. It's supposed to denote certain historical things. They're not the actual names of those people. So this man, it says that the Battle of Alexandria shall be at the hands of a Tiberius son of Esteban. When he lands, he shall land an embarkation. Markab is a small ship. It's not a big ship. Like an embarkation. Like an advance ship. And he shall land it at the Manara. The Manara is the minaret. This is the ancient minaret of Alexandria. The Greek minaret that used to be out to sea, and I think supposedly I believe they just discovered it recently. It was in front of Alexandria out there in the undersea. But we've already established that this is not in Alexandria.
This is in Libya.
It's in Libya. It says that this Roman commander, this kafir enemy, he will try to land his ship. He will land his small embarkation 3 times. Means he will come with the ship to the ground, go back, come again, go back. He's testing the waters, so to speak. He's testing Muslim defenses. Remember, we read in the other one that Abdullah ibn Amr said if he were alive at the time, he would warn the madman, the mad ruler of Libya, not to fall for the deception.
Right.
So they're testing Muslim defenses. He says he tries 3 times. Now, 3 times here, it's not necessarily 3 times. It's not necessarily one embarkation. It means they do it. They try it first on a small scale. They tried several times on a small scale to basically make the Muslims lower their defenses, to make the Muslims not realize what's coming. You understand?
Yeah.
And it says, and when the middle of the day arrives, he shall come to you with 400 ships, until they descend at the minaret, the minaret of Alexandria. But as we said again, I don't believe this is from the other hadiths. The minaret here is just the name of the whole area. It means the minaret of Alexandria, meaning the Alexandrian province at the Minara. Not that they're going to land specifically at the Minara. So, again, we're seeing here the outline of the deception and how it works out. Okay, here's another one again about the leader of Libya at the time. This is the Arabic language for those who want to search it out. على الإسكندرية يومئذ في ملحمتها رسول أحمق قريش فتكون الملحمة بسوق الحيتان ويضع ملوك الروم كراسيهم بقيصارية والقبة الخضراء وبيوحنس وينحاز المسلمين إلى مسجد سليمان حتى تغشاهم طليعة العرب فيهم فارس على فرس أغر مجيب فيه بلقة على كوم المنارة قال أبوه قال أبوه فلو أشاء أن أخبركم حيث يضع أمير الروم رايته يومئذ ينزل بين الخضراء القديم إلى المنارة مما يلي الإسكندرية. Upon Alexandria, or ruling over Alexandria that day, during its malhama, during its prophesied battle, is the messenger of the madman of Quraysh. Now, why Quraysh? Meaning he's a leader, the mad ruler. To translate this, the messenger of the mad ruler. So again, we see that same name again. This is like third or fourth time now. We have the Libyan ruler described as a madman.
As a madman.
As a madman, yeah. And the battle shall be, the Balhama shall be at the fish market, Suq al-Hitan, it's a place name. And the kings of the Romans, it says, وَيَضَعُ مُلُوكُ الرُّومِ, the kings of the Romans, means the Romans will be an alliance.
Right.
They shall put their chairs at Caesarea. Caesarea, I believe, is a city name. At Caesarea. At Caesarea and at the Green Dome. I think Green Dome, I think Cyrenaica is a Green Dome. That's that area. But somebody needs to double check this. I did a while ago and I forgot. But I believe Qubba al-Khudra or al-Khadra is the name of Cyrenaica or Cyrenaica. So this is a location in Libya. And then will be Yohannes and Yohannes, some other place. And the Muslims shall step aside to the Mosque of Solomon, to Masjid Sulaiman, until there arrives upon them a vanguard of the Arabs. Amongst them is a knight riding a horse, a responsive horse, a nice responsive horse. And he shall arrive at the minaret, ala kumi al-minara. Again, these place names, unfortunately, I don't know them all. His father, means the father of the narrator, because the narrator is narrating from his father, said to him, if I wanted, I would inform you of exactly where the commander of the Romans plants his flag. In Libya, meaning where he lands and plants his flag. That day, he shall descend between the old Khadra, Cyrenaica, I believe, towards the minaret of what is beyond Alexandria. So actually here it says it very clearly that all those places we're talking about were in this hadith. They were all west of the minaret of Alexandria, and they were in Al-Khadra al-Qadim. I believe it's Al-Khadra al-Qadim. I searched it before. I believe this is Cyrenaica. This is Libya. So he's saying that the commander of the Romans will land and plant his flag in Cyrenaica, in the place named Al-Khadra or Al-Khadra al-Qadim, which I believe is Cyrenaica, that huge protruding land area off of Libya, which is exactly where the Muslim rebels right now, Mujahideen, are fighting the madmen, which of course, with the kuffar, are trying to get the Muslim Mujahideen to ask the kuffar to come and land. Right. And that's the deception. That's the reason why they haven't exterminated Gaddafi. And they won't, unless of course they see that Muslims have figured out the deception. They want to keep this fight going and going and going until the Mujahideen give up and ask for the kuffar to land their troops and take care of the madmen for them. And that would be a big mistake. And that's what the Hadith of Prophet warns against. That Muslims should not divide their cavalry in order to fight a coastal war against Gaddafi while ignoring the bigger threat of the kuffar, of the Romans, trying to land their ships in Libya. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. It's frightening.
Yeah. And that's the game of the kuffar. That's the deception. They're going to keep this. They're going to keep the two sides perfectly balanced military-wise and weapons-wise, so that the Muslim Mujahideen can get to the point where they will beg the kuffar to come, please help us, we don't know what we're doing, or we can't take care of this kafir madman. And once they do that, they will bring their ships in hundreds, as the hadith says, land, and once they take over, once they have a safe position in Libya, you'll never get rid of them. They will use now then that safe position, those bases, to extend their reach into Egypt, and as part of actually a bigger ploy, which hopefully we'll mention at the end of this, is actually once you really realize what the landing in Libya is about, it becomes that much more immediate and urgent for Muslims to be careful, to be extremely careful. Now remember, the word malhama here is used as part of what is known in the Prophet as malahim, which means we are already in the malahim. The malahim are the wars that come before the greatest malhama, the greatest war of all. The malahim, they escalate and they come one after the other during the end times, until the Muslims finally, at the lead of the behind the lead of the Mahdi salam, they say enough is enough, and they tell the kuffar that this is it, and they meet them for one final battle, al-Malhama al-Kubra, the greatest war of all, and defeat them by Allah's mercy and by Allah's support, and with His victory, and then stop them. But this is what Muslims should realize. This is what our Prophet told us, that the kuffar would have many wars, but these wars, they're not accidental. They're part of a bigger design. Iraq, Afghanistan, attacks on Iran, on Yemen, now extension of the war into Pakistan and destroying Pakistan, and now the attempt at going after Iran. Okay, these are all maneuvers, part of a bigger strategy to completely eradicate the Muslims. This is not about just colonizing. This is about decimating, to exterminate the Muslims. This is what the kuffar want to do. And if Muslims haven't figured it out, then Muslims should stop playing with their toys and get serious, because if they don't, they will have to see and watch their own children slaughtered in front of them, as has happened to Muslims in Iraq and Afghanistan, as is happening to Muslims in Pakistan, and has happened to Muslims in other lands in the past, since the great deception of 911. And we ask Allah Almighty to guide us to see these deceptions of the kuffar, and to give us the strength and the intelligence to stop them. Ameen. So now there's a few more hadiths that I have not read. Okay, now what's okay. There's another hadith. It says تكون ملحمة الإسكندرية على يد طبارس بن إسطبيان ابن الأخرم بن قسطنطين بن هرقل. This is a different narration, but it confirms the other one with the name of the Roman commander. It says the Battle of Alexandria, the prophesied Battle of Alexandria, War of Alexandria, shall be at the hands of a Tiberius, son of Esteban, son of Akhram, son of Constantine, son of Heraclius.
Could you repeat that?
Again, it's the prophesied war of Alexandria shall be at the hands of a Tiberius, son of Esteban, son of Akhram, son of Constantine, son of Heraclius. I don't think this name, at least it doesn't mean anything to me, and I know it's not the exact name of the person. It's some kind of a nickname.
You think all those names are?
It's just to say that he's some kind of great leader. He's some kind of famous or well-known leader amongst the Romans, because he's got Constantine, he's got Heraclius in his name, right? And he's got Tiberius. So I assume that's one of the pre-Christian Roman leaders.
Right.
So that's why it's mixing pre-Christian Roman pagan leadership names with the Christian ones like Heraclius and Constantine, with Byzantine ones, with Christian ones like Constantine. Okay, now the other one is here. Okay, this one again. ذكر ابن وهب عن عبد الله بن عمرو بن العاص أنه قيل له بالإسكندرية إن الناس قد فزعوا فأمر بسلاحه وفرسه فجاءه رجل فقال من أين هذا الفزع؟